Hi guys, Lauren Oliver here for week 2 of my special feature, Ask Lauren Oliver, where I answer all of your burning questions about writing, life, love, pretty much anything you can think about. And if I don't know the answer, I will at least make something up because I'm a writer and that's what I do. I'm also going to basically start having some of my guest friends to help me answer, again, your questions. So keep them coming. Hashtag on Twitter, hashtag Ask Lauren Oliver, post on Tumblr. We are always collecting questions to every week, and I'm posting my videos on Wednesday. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you would like to hear me brainstorm the deep meaning of life, or at least tell you something about my process as a writer. So today I'm going to answer 4 questions. The first one comes from at Hannah_Le Rêveur 4, which, as I know because I speak French, means dreamer 4. Good Twitter handle. What are your favorite scenes to write and why, and least favorite? Oh, well, I naturally, as a writer, it's very hard for me to plot, to actually make things happen. I love describing things. I mean, describing things is my favorite. I could describe trees and nature all day. Unfortunately, probably nobody would want to read a book that was just a description of trees. So I really do love kind of character work, dialogue. I really enjoy. I find it easy. And I have much more trouble with action scenes. I get very anxious when I'm writing action scenes. My heart rate goes up. I actually feel like I'm in the scene myself. So I would say those are not my least favorite, but just more challenging. I think, it's not that I hate writing certain scenes and I love writing certain scenes. It's just that some things come more naturally to me as a writer. The second question comes from, let's see, C. Ann Fry 8. What has been your favorite place to visit on tour? I mean, I've gotten to go to so many amazing places in this country and out of this country. I have to say, I took a trip last year to both the Philippines and Australia, and I was so amazed by both kind of the friendliness of the people I met during that trip in the Philippines and in Australia, and also by the natural just gorgeousness of the landscape, both landscapes, and how remote and strange it was to be on the other side of the world. So that was probably honestly my coolest trip. I mean, come on, anytime you have to connect through Korea, it's pretty awesome that you get to go on tour to those places. It's also just amazing that you can be somewhere on the other side of the world and have really enthusiastic group of readers who connect to your stuff. That feels really good. Next question is from whoa, this is a crazy Twitter handle, at Mold Shawalchi. What are the tips you would give to beginning writers? My tips are always kind of boring, but well, first of all, I mean, I think the great thing about being a writer is you don't really need any qualifications to do it. You don't need a particular degree. You don't need to have studied anything in particular. But the one thing you do need to have is you do need to practice writing and you need to practice reading. It sounds strange to say practice reading, but I really do mean you need to engage with the books that you read and think about why they work and why they don't work and what holds your attention and what doesn't. So that's my advice. And the other thing is, really to try to practice carving out time to do it every day. Writing is really hard, and I hate to tell you this, but it doesn't get any easier. And there's always a lot of reasons not to be doing it, to do something else, and to focus your attentions elsewhere. So carving out the space, learning to discipline yourself to sit down and actually work on it is a major, major important skill. And it takes time to cultivate that as a young writer. So, even if it's 15 minutes a day, that's the way that you start. The last question comes from Kristen O'Filer 5. Where do you stand in the great outline debate? Am I a plotter or a pantser? So pantser meaning by the seat of my pants. I'm actually a combination of both. I think many writers are. When I start writing a book, I basically like to write about 10,000 words just to see if it starts working, if it starts living for me, if the concept is one that I really feel like I could, and the characters are one that I really feel like I could engage with. And then if it is working for me, and sometimes it isn't, I have a lot of half-finished or partially started novels littering my desktop, but if it is working for me, then I pull back and I think, okay, what actually happens in this story? What are going to be my 3-act breaks? What are going to be the major challenges the character faces? How are they going to overcome or complicate those challenges? How are the stakes going to be raised? I really ask myself a lot of questions, and I force myself to outline. And after I've done that and I have a workable outline, only then do I go back and start writing. So that's it. Those are my 4 questions for the Ask Lauren Oliver this week. Don't forget to send me your questions, writing related, reading related, or just life related. I will do my best to answer you. And again, if I can't, I will do my best to make something up that sounds very convincing. I want to finish with 2 special announcements. One is, please, if you want to subscribe to my newsletter, you can do so on my website. I'm actually, for the subscribers of my newsletter, I'm going to have a very special Panic announcement going out at the end of this week. Panic is my new book that comes out in the spring of next year, super secret, and we're gonna have a big announcement coming on Friday. So please subscribe to my newsletter for that. And lastly, I will end with a recommendation of what I am reading. What I am reading currently is Patrick Rothfuss, The Name of the Wind. This was recommended to me by my friend. Ooh, backwards. This is recommended to me by my friend who also works in books, and it is awesome. I mean, I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. You probably know if you follow me on Twitter, although I thought the season finale was super lame. But I love fantasy. I love epic fantasy, and I just started it, so I'm only like 30 pages in, and as you can see, it's pretty thick, but it is freaking awesome. So read it if you haven't, and we can talk about it on Twitter. All right, that's it, and I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next week.